I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of that as I move on without your face. I study horses, my picture of living zen.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Julie. Wow, your hair looks amazing.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice today? I always put it down when it's 110. So how do her feet look today?
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but
Oh, no.
I think it's going to be all right till tomorrow, but
Oh, good.
after that, I'm not sure.
Well, that's all we ask for, one day at a time. It's fine.
Anyway, but no, seriously, all his foot patterns look good. He looks very healthy. He's still dragging left hind, but
Gotcha.
to be honest, it looks a little better.
Okay, yeah.
So, and considering he's making slow improvements, we'll just keep going in the same direction. And,
Right.
but
Yeah, we've been working really hard on getting that left hind to step under for the support, and I know you were talking about that before, how you were trying to help with that support. So I think it's working.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll keep watching. I have yet to trim it, so I'll give a little bit better insight into how it's looking. But that's the biggest thing I see so far.
Okay.
His feet have been increasing in size just a little bit, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty happy as
Yeah.
long as he is and you are.
Yeah.
I would say this actually looks a little better.
Yeah?
So
Well, you were talking about how it was kind of concussing, and it was kind of a little bit of like, I guess he drug it, but maybe put more weight on it too.
right, mostly drug it and it caused the shape to be curved down, or what we call bull-nosed. And I would say it looks a little better. I've been setting the shoe just a hair forward as if his toe was where it might normally be. And then that foot has been getting bigger also, so in theory it's bearing more
Yeah.
weight proportionally.
What's this one's name, by the way?
This is Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. What a pretty girl.
Rosie's a guy.
Oh,
Way to stereotype.
sorry. Yeah, should have asked her
Rosie
pronouns,
actually,
buddy.
I can't remember his real name. It's Rose.
Aw.
Rose of something. Yeah, anyway, used to be a stallion.
Now is it gelding?
He's gelding now.
Gelding.
When Julie had him gelded, and
Yeah. Is there an ideal ratio of like hoof wall to like sole depth, like that you typically apply when the signature trim?
yeah, the ratios are pretty much the whole key to everything, and it really encompasses the idea of the whole body. So if you think of things in terms of ratios rather than in terms of specific measurements, then you take into account how the body functions, not just how a leg functions.
Right.
So
Does it differ much between the hind feet and the forefeet in the end?
well, they encompass both ends. So that ratios or proportions that are super consistent between breeds, and that I've found for the most part, but just like anything, nothing applies all the time.
So the size of the horse and the breed really does make a difference in how you apply the ratio as well?
No, that's the thing.
Oh,
Doesn't make a difference. At least that I found so far in general for most of the normal work that we do and the horses do. There's discipline-specific goals that those disciplines are trying to achieve in terms of horse movement, the movement.
of course, yeah.
And so they use different ways to get to that goal. But within the Noble Farrier signature trim, we have a goal of the best, most efficient, comfortable movement that for that horse at that time. And so that's where the goals and the ratio or proportions tend to remain about the same throughout, between disciplines, basically.
I know you don't do much barefoot trimming, but would your trim like end up being a little bit different if you were shoeing, say, versus going barefoot?
A tiny bit, in that we do even less to a barefoot horse. So part of the philosophy is doing less and allowing a horse to have more of their own structure in place. And that's a huge part of it, actually. So in barefoot trimming, we are going for the same goals, which are sole thickness and concavity and angle and breakover, but because they don't have the protection or support of a shoe, we have to leave even more foot. But the thing is, that doesn't mean you need to leave a long toe. So philosophy initially reduces the length from around the edges rather than from the bottom.
So if you're working with a horse with soundness that's already been compromised in some way, or there's a malady, like how does that would affect like the ratio of the trim?
The ratios will help us determine where the deficiencies are in order to help bring the whole body back into balance to, in theory, balance the pressures. And a balanced pressure is generally a sound horse, and a lame horse is pressure that's imbalanced and focused in one area. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah.
So our whole goal is to spread the pressure or the concussion evenly as we can across all the structures, which include the internal structures. So for instance, when a hind foot is at a lower angle than a front foot, we know that they don't have as much power to push usually. Nothing ever holds true all the time, but it's just a good clue.
And that's something you observe more from watching it walk than with the measurements even?
No, you can see it in the measurements, but then I guess in terms of knowing how they're moving, we get reports from the riders, and that's a huge critical piece of the whole project or puzzle, is the dynamic balance versus static balance, which is what we look at with the measurements.
Do you typically consult with a rider before each trim?
Yes, as much as I can. And we're starting to watch them ride under saddle more often, because that even makes a difference. So for instance, I had a horse that didn't want to tuck his hind feet up under it going over a jump, and I looked at the proportions and decided that his hind feet were too low. And that'd be like us walking around like this. So when I used support and the trim and the pad to help him stay a little forward, instantly tucked his feet over the jump, which you wouldn't think it was a shoeing issue, but it totally helped.
Wow.
So, doesn't always, but a lot of times we can solve movement issues that way. We come take measurements, Allison? Man, sure is nice having the iPad instead of that old paper we used to use. That's so outdated and overrated.
Overrated?
And then when we're done, I want to make a note about the toe. Okay. Right hind is 55 and 4 7/8. So that makes sense because he's dragging that left hind, so it's going to measure at a higher angle. All right. A little nervous. Don't worry about it. We got you, Rose. Rosie. Allison, sing that song you always sing. It's so pretty, and the horses always calm down.
I know. It's only in horse frequency, though. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, that's why he's so much more calm.
Yeah.
Went through and bundled all these pieces together.
I know I did. That's so that they'd be easier to count.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's just a jump.
Yeah.
No wonder you were sweating.
I know, yeah. I just wanted it to be easier for us.
The best thrush medication ever. Oh, Allison needs a rasp handle too.
Oh, she does? Okay. Do you need anything in your van?
You don't know.
Ooh, thank you. Besides that?
Should probably be fine with 4 of each.
Okay. She has that.
Okay, great. 777. We have 2 minutes for a meeting.
Okay.
No problem.
You're all right.
That's right.